go ahead and take a ride to the cemetery, not to lay down, but to actually see my dad's grave, and then go to the Ukrainian village. I actually grew up there, was born in Chicago and stayed there all the way through 8th grade, went into the western suburbs of Chicago for high school, and then right back to the city near the Ukrainian village area for college and then medical school. I've seen that area change. Now there's a lot of young families there, but a pretty close-knit cultural area. And Chicago's like that. There's different pockets. It's kind of like this little melting pot of all of these neighborhoods, which I think a lot of cities are like. And the restaurant we'll be going to is called Tryzub, which you see on the Ukrainian flag. It's the actual insignia. And that's the name of the restaurant. An ophthalmologist actually owns it. So it's Ukrainian food. And Ukrainian staple of food is pierogies, which are potato dumplings, holubchi, which are cabbage rolls. You have schnitzel. But really, basically, it's a lot of carbohydrates. So the rolls is a little thirsty. We're going to go ahead and get gas. And then on the other side, because I had the truck. That's why on the truck, it's this side.
Yeah, this is the same side you're on.
It is. This guy's gonna call the guy. Now I'm going to that side. I am. I'm just turning it so that I can go to the.
All right. That was hilarious.
I think I'm on the right side now. I don't know. So just stopped and paid respects to my dad, who passed away in 2009. He actually used to live with us. My mom still does, believe it or not. So they actually had the opportunity, and Michael had the opportunity to be raised by his grandparents. So always close-knit. I think that's some of the things that are missing in society today are the close-knit families. And I think that's extremely important. It doesn't matter what the family is, right? It just matters that somebody has support, because that used to be my therapy, right? Every Sunday we would go to church, and then what we would do is we'd go to grandmother's house for dinner or for lunch. And once we did the lunch, you had all of your aunts and uncles and grandparents there. So if you had any difficulty, you could talk things through. It was kind of nice. But because the world got so much smaller, what I mean by that, everybody has a car, you're able to fly all over any time or anywhere that you want, you kind of lose that closeness that occurs on a weekly type basis. So that's a little bit different. We take things for granted. So for example, I lived in Chicago my whole life, right? And you see the John Hancock building, the Sears Tower. The John Hancock on the left, the Sears is hiding behind the trees on the right there it is. But it's funny because when something is in front of you, you grow used to it. And you don't really look at it from a beauty perspective. I know the same thing in Florida. We're lucky enough to have a gorgeous view of the Gulf. And there's times where you wake up in the morning and the bedroom, you don't even look in the direction of the Gulf. So I think the important thing is to really realize, be present in the moment in your surroundings and enjoy the beautiful architecture, like that beautiful skyline of Chicago. So this is Division Street. All the new buildings, all the new architecture. But it's so funny because the architecture in Chicago, all the lots are 25 feet wide, and then they go deep, 130, 150 feet deep. So it's funny, you don't have a lot of frontage. Everything is very compact. We used to play hockey in the alley. So this is the Ukrainian village, but right over here, St. Helen's Polish Church. So right here lived Johnny Szczebowliak. Over here lived Orest and Bogdan Burdiak, Ryzacki. And this was Walton Street. On Walton Street, everybody lived. Kavich's lived there, Turcoy lived there. I actually lived on Iowa. It looks pretty with the sun going down. See, they're redoing it.
We're probably going to eat, relax a little bit. This is one of the best Ukrainian places in the city. Tryzub, here in the Ukrainian village. Absolutely amazing.
This was Pepe's. This was the hot dog stand when we would come from St. Nick's. And then rededication in 2006. So you see right there, 1913. So when I was going to medical school, my doctor actually owned this building. The whole top floor was his apartment, and up on top was a rooftop deck. He's a very nice gentleman. First he was an engineer, and then he became a doctor. If you were a Ukrainian doctor in the Ukrainian village, you always had patience because you spoke the language, but he was very intelligent. I think this was a chapel, and then this was a convent for the nuns. The nuns lived on this side, and then the priests lived on that side. There's the school. Well, this is interesting. This is St. Nicholas School of the Arts. It wasn't a School of the Arts when I was here because look at, you actually have things. Tango, chess club. We didn't have tango. We have no tango. Ballet. St. Nicholas School of Art offers. There you go. ESL classes, Ukrainian language classes, classical music, instruments, art classes for adults and children, and much more. Wow. This is the playground where I used to play. They didn't have any of this stuff. We would play football on the street. They closed the street during lunchtime, and we would play in here, and we would play out there. Each class had 50 kids. So think about it. There were like 400, 500 kids. I think now there's 100 kids in the whole school. See, you can actually see through here. There's my locker. That was the principal's office right there. That's the auditorium. Right there's the auditorium where the clock is. They used to have circuses in there with animals. You know, like little ponies and monkeys. The classrooms were right there. There was the bathroom. You go out the back way. You go down the back stairs and there was the cafeteria. You went upstairs, you had classrooms for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The lower classes were down here. And then some people had classes in the other building too. Everything does come full circle.